personal performance tracking. Okay, I'll give you some brief details on it, but let's understand why this is important. Okay, so we need to track how the work goes on a daily basis, right? As an individual also. So that is one of the reasons we have this. What I've done is, okay, I've tried to okay, create this small PPT. I think it should help you guys understand. Okay, there is something which is called a T matrix. Okay, we call it transaction matrix, and this transaction matrix is used to understand how business is performing. Let us say it is a scientific approach to managing business, right? So you have seen stores all across the country, in your hometown, in Delhi and all the metros, etc. If you go to the traditional kirana store person and ask him, कि आपका business कैसा हो रहा है, so he will say, maybe it is the grace of God and or whatever, so he does not have any scientific answer. We cannot say that my business was few weeks ago so much, today it is so much. Okay, but we need to in modern retail have some definite scientific methods under which we can at least understand how the business is happening, right? The business is in profit loss, that is one part of it, but the other part of it is, are you aware of how the business is moving? If you're aware of how the business is shaping, how it is performing, right, you may be able to work on it, to ensure that there is some positive results, right? You cannot just, open the shop and wait for customers to come in and, and at the end of the day, say, okay, I got so much of money. There should be some scientific approach. So this T matrix or transaction matrix, as it is called, is a way to understand how you can understand how the business operations at least are happening in your stores. And then there are two or three such parameters which will help you to understand what needs to be done and how it can be improved. So today we are just going to look at it from your personal point of view, that how you as an individual can measure it, right? But ideally, I'll give you what is the scientific theory behind this entire thing. So what it is, a transaction matrix is used to perform a measure performance of a business on a store to store on a day-to-day basis. Monitoring the transaction matrix indicates the extent to which the store potentializes customer entry, right? So we all are aware that if you have a good store in a very good location with very good fixtures, with very good merchandise, with very good price points, and we have created very good, marketing strategy to attract customers. You have used a lot of signboards, buzz bags. You have, got paper inserts or maybe some ads in paper plus use of social media, etc. What will happen? It will drive a lot of footfalls. You know what is the footfalls? The number of people coming into your store. So this is entirely about that. Okay. So we are assuming that footfalls are entering into your store, right? So the parameters used in this matrix are meant to be used by all retailers, big, small, right? Okay. And then there are four actually. Here I've mentioned only three because uh, as per our assignment we have to do four, but three are very important. Okay, one is the conversion rate, average transaction size, and items per ticket. And we are going to study this in detail, and then we will go back to our assignment. Is that fine? Okay. So, and these are all to be measured with reference to a specific time. This specific time in our assignment is a week, but it could be on a daily basis. Okay, it could be in a month basis. It could be on an hourly basis also. Okay. So the first metric here is conversion rate. Okay, what do we mean by conversion rate? Okay, it means that how many customers out of 100 who entered our store leave with a purchase. Okay, so first is that we need to know what are the type of footfalls that are happening, right? Many of these stores are having some guard at the gate or some person at the gate who is having a small ticker. Okay, these are the traditional ones, and they are counting the number of people coming entering the store, right? So he keeps counting, 5 came, 10 came, and then he has a book also. Sometimes he's also told to enter in the book. What are the details he's entering? He may be entering morning 10 o'clock, the store opened, 10 to 11, how many customers came? 11 to 12, how many customers came? 12 to 1, how many customers came? Why is he writing that? So that we come to know when is the peak time for customers. You take that detail on a daily basis and then you merge it and look at it, on a weekly or a monthly basis. You will come to know that this is the particular time where you have a lot of customers entering the store. And then you can, accordingly strategize on what needs to be done. Maybe you need more people around that time, or maybe you need to ensure that all the stocks are replenished by that time. So the various strategies you can do, all your offers, schemes to be around that time, etc. Okay. So conversion rate, for the sake of being very scientific, we look at it as 100. It is like a percentage, right? That is the reason we use out of 100. Okay. Measure how well we convert shoppers to buyers, right? So this I will explain to you why we call it, who is a shopper and who is a buyer. Okay. A shopper is a person who enters and who is just doing rounds in the store itself. But whereas a buyer is a person who has actually purchased your product, right? He has already paid the bill, so he's converted to become a buyer from a shopper. So this conversion, that is the meaning of conversion rate, right? So how do we be in control of who are the people who enter the stores as shoppers and how many actually bought, right? So that is what we are going to measure, and the higher the conversion rate, the better it is. So the formula is very simple. Okay. So conversion rate is total cash memo upon total divided by total traffic into 100. What is a cash memo? Cash memo is a tax invoice. It is a bill. It is a ticket. There are various terms for it, but the technical term is that it is a cash memo, or you can call it is a tax invoice, right? Every food outlet or retail store, when you move out, you get a ticket, or you get a tax invoice. It has all the details of all the merchandise you purchase from that store and the tax, and how much it cost you, what time, how you made the payment. All these details are there in it. Okay. Many times it helps you to return goods also, right? Okay. So what is it? That is a cash memo. And what is the total traffic? So a person who writes and who is counting the number of people coming in, he comes to know that in an entire day there were n number of people. Let us assume that the number of people were 100. You had 100 people entering your store, right? On a particular date from the start to end. Then what is the conversion rate? Conversion rate is when you actually measure it across the number of cash memos that were printed that day. Let us say out of this 100, you had only 50 cash memos. It means that 50 people, 50 purchases that happened, right? So the 50 divided by 100 into 100, you will get the answer is 50. To do it, okay, it means that your conversion rate was 50. In short, it means that 50% people actually converted as customers. 100 people came in, out of 100, 50 of them purchased. It means 50%. If it is 200 and 100, then it means again 50, right? Now this conversion rate actually helps you to understand how your conversion is happening and why it was not 60%, why it was not 70%, right? And then there are various ways in which you can scientifically apply your strategy to ensure that it becomes 60 and 70. Okay. So that over a course of time you will learn in your books. But right now we are only trying to understand what are the three or four metrics that are needed for our assignment. So this is conversion rate. Does anybody have any query regarding conversion rate?
No, sir.
Okay, because then we can move ahead. Okay. So again, I repeat, conversion rate is total number of cash memos divided by the total number of people who entered your stores into 100. Okay, as simple as that. And to look at a layman's mind, let us say, I'll give you an example. You need to come back to me. Okay, let us say your entry in your store was 500. Okay, 500 people enter your store. Okay, and you had 250 cash memos printed. So what was your conversion rate? Can anybody answer it? You can unmute and answer.
So 50%.
50%. 50%.
Yeah, I give you a simple. Okay, so retail is not about having a calculator in the mind. When you go for a job, they will first understanding whether you have any numeric ability. You should have a numerical ability to do calculations in your mind, right? Entire retail business is about numbers, percentage, right? You should understand little bit of metrics. You should be not fantastic at maths. Basic maths you should understand. So I give you a simple understand, just to give you a simple equation or situation, just to understand how you will calculate. I don't want to give you a tough question, right? So conversion rate you have understood now, right? I'll give you another example of how you can increase conversion rate. A is by understanding that are all these balance 50 people or all the 100 people being attended to in a very nice way. Were they all, were we able to service them, right? A, can we have good people in the store, good sales associate, who will help these people buy? Okay. A, if we do that, maybe we can have more than 50% conversion rate. B is, can we go and relook at our stocks? Are we having the right stocks in the store? So that why did the balance 50 people did not buy? Is it that we do not have the right stocks in the store? Can we have a relook at the store stocks that we are having merchandise in the store? Okay. And the third maybe is there a way we can attract the other people also to buy by having more schemes and more freebies and more better offers inside the store? So there are various ways in which you can make this 50 to 60. But right now we are only just trying to understand what is the conversion rate, right? As time goes by, you will also understand that, okay, it means that if I'm having 50, how do I make it 60, 70, 80, 90? Okay. So this is just to have a framework. Okay. The next is something called as the average cash memo size or average transaction size, right? So what does it say? It says that how much does the average customer spend in the store? Okay. How much does he spend in the store? And we will find out how much an average customer spends, right? Okay. Second, next is a critical number as it measures our ability to sell more of what we have to customers we already have. Okay. It means, like I told you before in the earlier towards the end, I told you that if let us say average, if on an average people are spending 1,000 rupees. Okay. Every customer is spending on an average 1,000 rupees. So what do we need to do that he may spend 1,100 rupees? Right?
Upselling and cross-selling.
Yeah, that is what upselling, cross-selling, all is there. But you need good salespeople. I give you the answer in the earlier part only. Okay, you can have better offers in the store, better signages, right? Okay, yeah, and better merchandise also. You can have a lot more goods to understand what are the customers buying, right? For example, if you understand that the people in particular location in, let us say, Delhi are having a lot of things buying around this time. Let us say, even if it is festively, it is a festive occasion, and you know that this is the type of festival that we are going to have, and this is what they buy. So you can have more of those things, right? So try and understand. Like Diwali is coming, what are the people buying during Diwali? You need to understand and ensure that there is more stocks during that time. Automatically, your average spending per person will go up. Give him more options. Okay. Next is that it should always be improving from 50 to 55, 55 to 60. You need to keep in. Okay. So there are two parts. One is this, and second is that you need to have lot more people coming in. We counted today how much? 100 people only. I'm saying that you should also have means to understand how can I make this entry from 100 to 200. What do I need to do? Right? That today is not our topic, but as a sales associate or as a business manager or store manager, this is what these people try and think all the time. And how can we increase the number of footfalls? We call that footfalls. Okay, and this average transaction size will always be increasing, improving, right? So this is a formula. What do we do? Okay, so we have the daily sales. So you start the store in the morning. At the end of the day, at the click of a button, you come to know how much is a sale. Okay, and that sale you divide it by number of transaction. That is number of the cash memo, right? And you will get it. Let us say in the previous case we had 50 cash memos. Okay, right? So let us say you had 1 lakh of sale that day. That earlier we said we had how much? 100 people come in and 50 as the number of cash memos, right? Or transactions. So let us say we had 1 lakh of sale. So you take 1 lakh rupees and divide it by number of transaction, that is 50. So what is the number you get?
So 2000.
2000, right? Right, very good. So 2000 is the average transaction size, average cash memo size, average ticket size. Okay, so we can roughly, if this is a number which is constant or around constant, let us say for a month, right? Every day we take the sale divided by number of transactions, and we come to know that we are getting on an average 2000 rupees per customer per bill. We can say that for our store, the average transaction size is rupees 2000 rupees. Okay. Now, these are all for stores, right? Next, any questions regarding this? Has everybody understood what is the average cash memo size, average transaction size? Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
The third part is items per transaction. Okay, how do you measure items? Okay, we'll show it how. But what does it do? It talks about how many items were purchased by average customers. How do you do that? The reason behind that is that we know now how many customers entered, we know how many customers purchased, we know what was the total sale, right? Right. So this particular matrix will actually help us to understand how many items the average customer purchases. Okay. Second is it tells us how we are selling, how we are performing in suggestion selling. Right? Somebody discussed na upselling, cross-selling, upselling. He said na it means sell more to existing customers. Right? So how are we performing in that? We will come to know. Right? How should be increasing? Okay. How do we ensure that more items are purchased by customers? Now, how do we come to know what is the items per transaction? Okay. Transaction meaning per cash memo. How many items per cash memo? So we pick up the total number of items sold, right? How do we come to know the total number of items sold in a particular day? Let us say in the earlier part, we knew that there are 50 cash memos, right? So in that 50 cash memos or that 50 transactions, we take the total items that were sold. How do we come to know? Each transaction will have, if 2000 rupees is spent, we come to know there were 15 items in some cash memos. In some cash memos, maybe 20, 30, 40, right? So we take the entire number of items that are sold in that particular day. We will get it at a click of a button, right? And then divide it by the total number of transactions. Let us say the total items that were sold were around 750. Okay, 750 were total sold on that day. Which day? The day we got 100 footfalls, 50 people bought. Okay, 50 transactions were there, 1 lakh rupees of sale, right? And we had 750 items. So you take the 750 items, and then divided by the total transaction. How much were the total transactions? 50. So what is the answer you get?
Sir, 15.
15, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
spent, you had about 15 items per cash memo per transaction. Okay.
Sir,
Per
can you
cash-
please repeat?
See, we are taking hypothetically there were about 750 items. How did we get this? We added the items in all the 50 cash memos that we had for this day. Okay, so 50 cash memos we had. Each some cash memos had 20 items, some had 10, some had 22, some had 5. Right? We added that entire thing, and we came to know that there were 750 items in all sold. Okay, so are you understanding what I'm saying? So every time you take a bill from a retail store, what do you get? You get all different items inside, and then the total, right? So when you add all those items, you come to know that, okay, this bill had 15 items, this bill had 10 items, this bill had 20 items, correct? So you have to add the entire items on that particular day. And then you divide it by the number of transactions. What was the number of transactions? The number of transactions were 50 in this case, which we have taken. And what were the items which we have taken on a hypothetical basis? It is 750. So you divide 750 by 50. How much do you get? You get it 15. So 15 is the average items per transaction. Okay. Does anybody have any query in this? Has everybody
No.
understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the three things that you need to, okay, mention. Now we go back to our here. Okay. So in assignment 1, there are 4 things. Now, the fourth part, which is here, okay, we already touched upon average transaction size, ticket size. We have touched upon the average item. Okay, here, this, we have already touched upon this. Items per ticket, conversion rate also we touched upon. What is sales per employee? So we had 1 lakh as the sale on that particular day, right? And let us say we had about 5 employees. Okay, so you take 1 lakh and divide it by 5. You will get to know what is the average sales per employee. What is it? Can you divide 1 lakh divided by 5 employees?
So 20,000.
So, right. So approximately 20,000 was the average sale or sale per employee. Means each employee was able to, on an average, contribute how much? 20,000 rupees of sale, right? So there are various ways this can be put to business. A scientific, I use the word scientific in the beginning of the day, right? Why we are asking you to measure this on an individual basis, right? Why are we doing it? So that you measure your target, your achievements vis-a-vis what is the store's achievement, right? So let us say now you are in a situation where you cannot go and spend time in the store. You are on a virtual internship. Had you been in an actual internship, I would have asked you to measure this on a day-to-day basis, which is actually to be done in this particular assignment. You have to measure it for a week. But now you cannot go into a store. People who are going into the store, people who are working in stores can do it. But there is no, we are not requesting anybody to go into the store and do it. But if there are people who are already working in retail, you all can do it in the store and look at it for a week. Okay, the data has to be computed for a week, right? And you do it for your section. Okay, or you can do it for your store also, and you measure it. That how was it flowing in the particular store, right? For people who are not going into the store, whatever I mentioned to you, you can start writing about it here, right? Okay, you can just start writing about it over here in this particular area. What do you understand by average transaction size, and give them an example. Okay, average transaction size and average ticket items per ticket, and give them an example. Okay, right? Then you cannot do this because this particular part, because you are doing a virtual internship. So you just write here that you are doing a virtual internship, and people who are working in stores can actually mention this in the entire in your workbook, right? And here sales per employee, right? So you can measure what is the sales per employee. I gave you an hypothetical, but you can write the actual ones over here, right? You can write actual ones, whatever is your particular stores. Okay. That is all we have to do in this entire assignment. Nothing much. So what are the four things which we learned today? Okay. We learned about average ticket size. So people who are doing virtual internships can write about what we discussed today. Average transaction size, average ticket size, right? Items per ticket, conversion rate, and sales per employee. We discussed these four things. Okay. And you can just write briefly in each of these places here of what we actually mentioned, what we actually discussed here. You can write over here about average transaction size. Okay. Average items per ticket, right? Conversion ratio. Okay. And the last, sales per employees. Okay. So do you have any questions now?
Yes, sir. How to write, sir? How to write in the workbook, sir? Just to mention the definition or with write down the figures.
You are doing virtual internship, so you just mention the definition and give them an example. Okay. Give them a working example. I give you, assuming 100 customers, 50 transactions.
Like we can write some hypothetical examples.
Yes. Because you have no other, you can't go physically to the store. But
Yes,
there are
sir,
some
yes,
people who are working in store, they can do whatever practically is possible for them. Right? But you cannot go to the store. So you have to write a hypothetical question so that you are able to prove in your assignment that you have understood what is to be done. Right?
Sir, please show me the last slide.
Okay, so I'll go to this slide again one more time. If you guys have got mobile phones, of course, with camera, you can click photos so that you can get some, understanding of.
Screenshot.
Okay, just hold on. So let us start from here. Okay, I'll repeat this for all your sake. Okay, T matrix, it helps us to transaction matrix. There are three parameters there which help you to, understand how the business is shaping up, right? So what are we having? Conversion ratio, average transaction size, and items per ticket, right? So this is about conversion rate. What is the conversion rate? It is the total number of cash memos divided by the total traffic in the store into 100. Okay. Example is that out of 100, every 100 customers, how many customers bought? Right? You have to take a hypothetical case. In your case, you could take 500 and then have a footfalls and explain that there were so many shoppers and so many buyers. And this is the rate, and the higher the rate, the better it is. Okay. What is average transaction size? Average transaction size is sales divided by the number of transactions, right? That is cash memos. This is very simple. You have to take a sales on an average. This is something which every business does. Every store owner, store manager, everybody does this. They do it on a daily basis. So at the end of a month, they will say in these 30 days, we had got, let us say, 1 crore of sale. And out of this 1 crore of sale, how many were the transaction? They come to know what is the transaction size. Okay. So there may be certain days where the store does much better sales. So they try and understand why we had better sales and how can we replicate it on other days. So all these are scientific ways of managing your business. Okay. what is items per transaction? It is the total items sold for that particular period. Here we were talking about the day and the divided by the total number of transaction or cash memos for that day, right? Total items may be 750 and the total number of transaction may be 50. So you divide 750 by 50, you get 15. So 15 is the average number of items per transaction for that particular day for that particular store. Okay, right? So this is it, and we go back to our assignment, and I'm open for any questions. Anybody having any questions, you can ask me.
But here is
Sir,
mentioned.
what
please
is
show me
sales
the
per
last slide.
employee?
This
No,
is
what-
mentioned for a
what-
week period. How to mention for a week period, sir? It is a per day, sir. Na, you are telling about per day. Sir.
So you are talking virtual internship or you are talking physical?
Virtual internship, sir.
Virtual, how you will measure for a week? It is into 7 days, right? But
Yes.
like I said, in a virtual, you are not entering the store. You cannot even measure for 1 day. That
One
is the
day.
reason I'm telling you again, you have to give what you have understood about this assignment and give them an example. Right? You not being in the store, how you will measure anything? Or
So I will
measuring
get
any,
the same marks if I am mentioning the virtual internship. So I will get the same marks or
no. I cannot, say it is the same marks. Right? But we are not asking you to go into a store and do it. As much as possible. I'm not IGNOU. You should approach IGNOU and check that, right? But if I'm
Sir,
like I
please
told
show
you
me the
yesterday,
last slide.
I showed it again. You want me to show?
Yes, ma'am. Sir, sorry, वो network issue हो रहा है.
So can you again explain sales per employee?
Sales per employee is you have to take the total number of employees in your store. Okay, let us say it is 10 employees, right? And we had 1 lakh rupees of sale for that day. So you have to take 1 lakh divided by the number of employees, which is 10. So if you divide 1 lakh by 10, what do
10,000
you
per
get?
employee.
Yes. I'll give you another scenario. Okay. You have 2 lakh rupees of sale. Okay. And you had
Okay, sir.
20 employees. Again, it will be 10,000,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. Let us
Yeah,
say
right.
you had, so you've got the idea, right? Okay. So
Okay, sir.
coming back here, see, I am also a person who takes Viva. Okay. When I see, because I am understood that it is going to be virtual. So whether you go into a store and do it or virtual, it is going to be the same. Okay. We will pass a circular to all the experts, telling them that this was a virtual internship. I don't want any of you all to unnecessarily go into the store where at a time when the university itself is not telling you to go into a store. The university is not encouraging you to go into a store. There are 2 sets of people in this course. One is people who are already working in retail. Okay. Some of them are retail employees. They are from companies like Titan, Reliance, etc. Okay, Tata's, Future Group. They are already doing this distance learning program. And then there is a second set of people who have taken direct admissions, right? If the normal period was there, the people who have entered directly would have got a 3-month internship and probably a job after that. But now the university has requested us to do a virtual internship. They don't want the students to go into the stores because of COVID times. So it is going to be virtual internship for everyone, right? But I'm saying that people who are already working in store, they can do this because they are, as it is, they are inside the stores. They are employees. So they can use this opportunity to do it. But when it comes to grading or marking, everybody will be treated as the same. So I am giving you examples. I am giving you, you can give one example, two examples. Okay. In the earlier assignment also, I told you the first assignment, the second assignment on stock deck. You can create virtual maps and show. So make your, presentations, enter very good details inside here. Give good examples, right? What is needed for by you to give an example, but you can enhance it. You can make it much better, right? Okay. To get you good marks, you will get. You have to complete the assignment. But if you want to be a topper somewhere, then you have to do much more than that. Give better examples. Okay. Fine. You have any other question?
No, sir.
So what is item per ticket?
So you have a transaction size. Okay. You have
Okay.
number of transactions. I explained that now, right now. The last slide was that only. This is items per ticket. So you take up all the items that were sold in a particular day, right? I'll give you an example. In a day, we had said about 50 cash memos. Let us say we take it 100 cash memos on a day, right? And the number of items, how do you calculate the number of items? You take these 100 cash memos, and because it is electronic today, everything at a press of a button, you will get the number of items. But the scientific process is that you start adding the item on each of these cash memos and total it up, right? In cash memo number 1, you had 10. In second, you had 12. In third, maybe you have 8. Fourth, you had 6. Fifth, you had 13, etc. You add all the 100 and you will get a figure. That figure, you have to divide it by the number of transactions. What you can see here. Can you see this? Okay. And that you will get the average transaction. I'll give you a case. You only have to answer this. You had about 1,000 items on a particular day and you had 10 cash memos. 100 cash memos. So what is the items per transaction?
10.
Can you answer?
10.
You had 10, right? How did you calculate? 1,000 divided by 100. Okay. Anything else?
So can
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is there a query from someone?
Sir, in this workbook, we can write in the chart or in the paragraph. Sir. We just make a chart that
Make a
mention. Yes.
No, you will have to write it to explain it, right? You can have a table also. Okay, you can have
You
a
can
table.
write the number of customers and
Yeah.
number of convert.
Yeah,
We write like this, or sir?
you write, have a table and then explain the table below.
Okay.
Makes sense because you've got enough space there.
Okay, sir. And what to write in sir notes last page?
Yeah,
Notes.
no. You write here only. You write for transaction what you understand by the word average transaction size and give an example.
Okay.
Right? What is
And
the
in
meaning
last
of average size?
Okay.
Last is just
Last
in case you need more.
Notes.
Notes is just in case you have anything more to write. I mean, it's just if you have, let us say you are writing something and you feel that, in one page you cannot write. Then at the bottom here now, you can say that continued in notes. Okay. You put a bracket here and say at the last line, continued in notes. And here at notes, you can start adding whatever you were not able to complete. From here, you can write. This is given to you for extra space in case you want to make a point to write. Okay. but you don't need to write anything there if it's not needed. Okay. Additional note is
Now I
also the same. So be very specific to the point. Essay writing. Okay. Don't write stories. Be to the point. Highlight and give an explanation.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
We have to submit workbook online or offline?
That I don't know. You ask Vidya. Okay. You start
All right.
completing this. I think you should go to the regional center and submit it. Very important. Okay. Unless you have some issues, because how getting it meeting online, getting it into PDF, etc., is another difficult process. But Vindhya is here, she will help you. Okay.
So do you have any last year example
Example of what?
workbook last year students?
No, it was all hard copy, na. You have to go to the regional center and check.
Sir, as it is written, that the personal average interaction, average transaction slash ticket size. So there are two different topics, no? Or it is average transaction per ticket size.
No. Listen, the average transaction size, average ticket size, average cash memo size, they are all the same. In different parlances, they talk about it differently. Some people call it average transaction size. Some people call it average cash memo size. Some people call it average ticket size.
So it is
All three are
one
same.
topic. Like we have to write average
Yeah.
transaction or ticket size. The same. They are same.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you,
in
sir.
store parlance, every retailer uses some different word for it.
Okay, sir.
So, hello.
The word average invoice size, So for me, invoice. So I represent RAI. It's a government body. So we promote only cash memos which are tax invoices. We should have details of, for me, a true transaction or a true cash memo is the one that has got tax details in it. So
That
we
has got
promote
GST
those
details.
retailers. It has to have GST details. Otherwise,
Yeah, sir.
retailer is not modern retailer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
He not make
Hello.
that is it. Tell me.
So, excuse me, sir. So, I want to ask one thing, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
continue.
in this items per transaction, just one doubt I am having. So, this
Yeah.
item per transaction is equal to total items sold divided by total transaction. That is number of cash memo. So, my question is, this total items
Yes.
sold means it has been sold so that the number of transaction has been uh, generated. So just I'm having some little confusion regarding this. Total items sold divided by total transactions. So both are both are same. It looks both are same because the total
No.
items sold. Yeah, just I'm having some
Average
doubts on this.
transaction is the number of cash memos, number
No,
of
no.
tickets.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm asking about the items per transaction that topic. In that you are given items per transaction is equal to total items sold divided by total transaction. That is number of cash number. So this that
Yes.
total items sold. That means the item has been sold. So the transaction has been done. So again you return divided by total transaction. So I'm having little confusion. Can you explain that?
No. I'll give you the right example.
Yeah.
You have 50 transactions in a day. Example, or let us say 5 transactions. Right? I'll give you
Yeah.
an example. Only five customers came in that store. Okay. Right. Now
Yeah.
you add it up. So in the first cash memo or the first transaction or in the first ticket, we had only 5 entries, 5 items. It means the customer picked up 5 items. We scanned the 5 items. We made a bill for 5 items, and whatever is the amount, we are not interested in the amount in this particular discussion. Okay. In the second, there were 10 items. and in the third there were 6. Are you adding it up?
Okay. No,
And
no,
in
no, no,
the
sir. No, no. No.
start
First
adding.
you said how
You will
much?
be 20. In the first, it was 5.
5.
There were 5 items in that cash memo. In the second,
Okay.
there were 10.
10. Okay.
Okay. In the third, there was 6.
6.
The fourth,
So
there
there's
were 4.
4.
And in the fifth, there were 5.
Okay.
Okay. There were only 5 bills. 5 bills.
Okay.
5 transactions. 5 tickets. 5 cash memos.
Okay.
Add it up. कितना हो गया total?
2 plus 1 plus 5 is 30. 30.
30, right?
30
So
by
it means,
5.
right, the total items were 30. So use the formula now. And you give me the answer.
6. 6.
So the total sold is 30. Total transaction number of cash is
6 आएगा 6.
6 item per
So
transaction.
30 divided by what? Let him answer. He has not understood. Na? Let him answer. I know you understand. The rest of the team has understood, but for his sake, we will do it. Na? So 30 divided by what? What are you
the
going to do?
transaction.
Oh, answer. Give me answer.
So it's 5. It's 30
Divide by?
divided by 5.
Ah. So you
And
understood,
that
right?
comes-
30 divided by
yes,
5.
yes.
Answer, whatever it is, answer is irrelevant. You
Yes.
should understand the process.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, good. Any other query?
So we have to write
No, sir.
1 week data.
What? Come again?
So we have to write 1 week data.
No. Are you going to be in physical or you are going to be in virtual?
Virtual, sir.
How you will write 1 week data? I'm repeating again. You are in virtual. You
Okay,
just have to write what you have understood by the words. Each of these 4 words. Okay. What is the definition you have to give and give an example. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You are not in physical store. How you will give 1 week data? कहाँ से निकालोगे आप?
Okay, sir.
So only write the definition and give a very strong 1 or 2 example. I'm saying 1 is more than enough. Okay. Any other query?
So, sir, without go and anywhere, we have to write all the module virtually.
Do you have you have not received the workbook?
So
Hello?
I have. Yes, sir, I have.
So write in the workbook. Na? You have to submit this workbook.
No, sir,
at your
no, sir, I am asking about that. I have to go to any store for all
No.
the modules.
You don't have to go to the store. You cannot go to the store. Okay, this is the university has said this is a virtual internship. Okay, if you are not working in a store, you don't need to go to a store. But I told you there are some employees here of all these big retailers. So for them, since they are already working in store, let them do it in the store. But the university has said this is going to be a virtual internship. That is the reason we are having this class today. Okay, it is a virtual internship. Please do not go
Okay,
into
sir.
any store. You will complicate things. The university has not asked you to go into any store. Okay.
So, sir, who will sign as a supervisor?
You don't need to. You have to say it is an virtual internship.
Okay, sir.
At the beginning itself, now where that certificate is there, you can say virtual internship. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I think any other questions
So
from anyone?
all the student who is doing the virtual internship, he will get the certificate or
What certificate you want?
internship for internship, sir.
No. You have to submit your books. You will get the viva happening and the scores. The scores will come in your mark sheet. You don't need any certificate. I told you on top you have to write virtual internship. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Cool. Okay, guys, then. Vindhya?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
If
Thank
there
you.
are-
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. If there are any other modules to be
Thank
done,
you, sir.
I'm there. Okay. Guys, thank you. Man laga ke kaam
Thank you,
karo,
sir.
bhai. Okay. I hope this pandemic ends soon and next year you are able to go out and spend time in the retail stores. Okay. Take care. Be
Okay,
safe. God bless you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.